Hello there. It's been a while since I last did one of these, mainly because I've had a stinking cold for the last couple of weeks and I've still got the remnants of it, but ultimately I've had other stuff that I've had to do as well, and it's just knocked the life out of me. Like today, I work nights Thursday and Friday, and I've still not caught up with my sleep at all because I could not sleep between the nights. So yeah, this could be interesting. I may doze off partway through, but other than the cold, what have I been up to recently? I've got a list up there. Haha. I went to see Ed Sheeran at Portman Road a couple of weeks ago, which he's not really my kind of thing. However, I will say, as a technical musician, he is fantastic. Like all of the stuff with like the loop pedals and stuff. So it's literally just like a one-man band kind of thing. It's really, really good. Although the biggest downside to it is every time I've ever seen any live music, I've always got myself a t-shirt. But every single t-shirt that was on sale was a collaboration of some sort with Ipswich Town, which, as a Norwich fan, buying an Ipswich shirt isn't really the done thing. So I was checking out everything on there just to see which was the least Ipswichy. I mean, there was one that was an actual Ipswich shirt, which had like his album logo instead of the sponsor. That was really nice, but I wasn't going to spend 70 quid on Ipswich shirt. But I found it, and it was like white and had a picture of Portman Road, and was like literally just said Ed Sheeran Portman Road. So I thought, yeah, that's the one I'm going to get. So I queued up to get that, and then when I got it, it turned out that the print that I thought I had was actually a back print, and there was a Ipswich Town badge right there. So I've inadvertently bought myself an Ipswich shirt, which isn't the best thing in the world. But he was supported by Busted, and they were really quite entertaining. And I know Busted songs a hell of a lot better than I thought I did. So I'm not sure if that's positive or not. Other than that, and having the cold, I've started training in earnest for my 10k because I've got just under 50 days to go on that, and I'm very much behind on my training. Yeah, I need to get some real miles into my legs before I'm ready to do that. But either way, I'll do it, even if I have to walk for 10k. But anyway, I think that's pretty much all I've been up to. Oh, I've renewed my passport because I'm looking to go away on holiday in a few weeks. So that'll be a nice bit of excitement. I think the chosen destination is Barcelona, and I've never been anywhere like that, so that'll be a nice bit of interest. But the main reason you're watching me isn't to find out what's going on in my life. You want to know what games and stuff I've picked up. I've got a big pile that I've picked up here, mainly from car boot sales and charity shops, and I've not got them in any particular order. The only thing that I will do in terms of any form of order is, as the cover for this video says, I've hit 200 games for the MegaDrive, so I'll save that one till last. But let's get started. I'm going to keep bobbing down like this, and it's going to be really disorientating. So, first one, I think this was car boot sale pickup. Mercury Meltdown for the PSP. Now, I've got another game that's called Mercury, and I thought it might have something to do with that, but it's a different publisher completely, and I don't really know whether it's anything to do with it or whether it's just something very similar. But they both look a bit like Marble Madness, but you've got a ball of mercury. So hopefully that's some good physics-based gameplay there. God, I'm croaking a lot. This one was literally at a car boot sale in a box of games that were £1 each, and it looks pretty pants. It's Cold War, but the thing that appealed to me, other than the fact that it was just a game I didn't have and I hadn't seen before, is that it is sealed. So I think that brings the number of sealed original Xbox games in my collection to 3. So that's positive. The first one I got like 3 of the same game for 50p, all sealed, from a charity shop in Wales, and that was fantastic. I always notice when I go further afield that other places' charity shops are so much better priced than those in Norfolk, and I don't understand why, because they're the same charities. So if you can explain to me why there is such disparity, please give me some idea. From the same store, I picked up Half-Life 2. I've only ever played a little bit of the first Half-Life, but I know that this one is supposed to be really good. But do I need to have played through the first one to understand what's going on in the second one, or can I just play them both independently? Because I wouldn't mind giving Half-Life a proper go, Half-Life 1 and 2 a proper go at some point. I took myself off to Attleborough a couple of weeks ago with the intention of going to Omega's Emporium, and I happened to pick a day that it was closed. So I went wandering around the charity shops and picked up a nice little wad of games. Most of them I've heard of in some way or another. First one I hadn't ever heard of, which is Championship Paintball 2009, which I think is like first-person shooter, but you're playing paintball. 35 tournaments and 65 teams and 110 pieces of officially licensed gear, and you could have played it online. So I couldn't think of a single like paintball game I'd ever come across before, and then my son said, well, Splatoon. So yeah, shows that my gaming knowledge is completely fading away to nothing. I picked up Terraria. I'm not sure if I've already got this or not, but they were actually decent prices, to be fair. So I thought I'd pick that one up just in case, and if not, that can be traded in somewhere. Then we've got Dragon's Dogma Dark Horizon. So I don't know anything about the Dragon's Dogma games whatsoever, but it's made by Capcom, which they're normally alright, aren't they? Then this one is Carrier Command Gaia Mission. And the thing that really strikes me with this is, on the cover art, just how dead and lifeless that bloke's face is. I mean, normally you expect a certain level of deadness in the face, but at the same time, that's just a bit weird. Just how completely bereft of life. He looks like he's considering everything he's ever done in his life and regretting all of it. So we next move on to another 360 game, which is Aliens vs Predator. I've not played any of the Alien or Predator games except for a couple of hours of Alien Isolation. So I've not played any of the more action-based ones. So hopefully that'll be interesting, because I did rearrange, like I said, I was going to a few weeks ago, so I've got my emulator rigged up to the main TV, and I've kept the Xbox One, so hopefully that'll be backwards compatible and I can just sit in bed playing that. Then a couple of real dirt cheap ones. I got Madden 2005 for the PS2. I've never got into any NFL game ever. I don't find it interesting. So that's a little bit of shelf filler. And I also picked up Fight Night 2004. I picked this up even though the case is absolutely minging. I mean, just take a look at that. I mean, that's like, is that full-on extreme, what's the word, sun damage, or is that literally just some kind of disease that I've just brought into my house? It'll be easy enough to replace the case on it, but at the same time, that's nasty. While I was in Attleborough, I also picked up quite a few VHS tapes because they were really well priced. So, as with the UMDs, I'm mainly looking at movies I haven't seen before. So, first one I've got is Fatal Attraction, which I've seen so many different spoofs of it in programs like Family Guy and stuff like that. So I roughly know the story, but I've never seen the actual film. So that's another one on the ever-growing movies list. Shallow Grave, which, am I right in thinking this is one of the very early Ewan McGregor movies? But again, think it's comedy, isn't it? Either way, there's another one on the list, and I love the cheesiness of the cover art for this one, and that is The River Wild. Suspense, thrilled, action thriller, blah 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 blah. Pulse-pounding thrill ride. So we'll see how that one goes as well. Now, big pile here. This is one that I watched, I think, earlier this year as part of my trying to get the movies for the MegaDrive. Surprisingly great fun. That is True Lies, where effectively Arnold Schwarzenegger is a spy. His wife has no idea that he's a spy, and then she gets kidnapped. So it is good fun, very good fun. This one, is there anyone around my age who hasn't seen Speed? I have seen it, probably not for getting on for 30 years. So yeah, I'm sure that's quite fun. I remember Speed 2 better than I remember Speed 1, mainly for the sequence where the boat goes kind of straight into the port. So yeah, that's gonna be a good one to watch at some point, but it probably won't be too high on the list because I've got so many that I haven't seen before. Further up the list, I've bought myself Blues Brothers. Again, it's not one that I've ever seen before. The only thing that I've seen to do with it is, do you remember 2.4 Children on BBC? There was an episode where, in like a talent show or something, two of the characters did a song from that in costume, and that was just so funny at the time, and that's just one of my completely burnt in memories. So I'm looking forward to watching that one. Then we've got Swordfish. Again, I don't know much about it, other than, isn't this the one where they paid Halle Berry an extra $1 million to get her boobs out? Or am I thinking of a completely different film? Or is that Monsters Ball? I don't know. But that's another good one to watch. And then we've also got Sleepless in Seattle, Tom Hanks rom-com. Now, is this better or worse than You've Got Mail? I've not seen either, but I think they're pretty similar, aren't they? Who knows? And then finally, we have one that I'm very surprised I haven't seen, and that is Armageddon. The only thing I really know is that they train miners how to be astronauts, and then they go to blow up an asteroid, and then Aerosmith sing. So, yeah. Is it a Michael Bay movie as well, I think? Yeah, it is. So, should be some decent explosions within that. And then we'll move on to the UMD pickups. Some of these were from last level, and some of these were from car boot sale, I think. So we've got, now should I do these in a particular order? I don't know. I think the correct order would be The Mask of Zorro. Now, I've never seen any Zorro films, but if it's got Anthony Hopkins in it, it can't be that bad, can it? And then following straight on from that, we've got The Legend of Zorro. So, I'm guessing, is that the sequel? Well, it says that he'd spent the last 10 years fighting injustice. I think Mask of Zorro is him becoming Zorro, isn't it? Or am I completely wrong? Then we've got The Cave, which just looks like a proper little horror movie kind of thing that I do really enjoy. And another one that looks very horror-like, and that is White Noise. Disturbing thriller. Dead can contact us. All we have to do is listen. Oh, it's got Michael Keaton in it. Oh, that'd be quite nice. And then, this is a film I've heard of before. I've got no idea what it's about. And that is The Long Good Friday with Bob Hoskins and Helen Mirren. Yeah, if you've got any idea what happens in that and whether it's worth watching, please let me know. And then we've got this one that the cover is pretty minging, but it it was £1 at a car boot sale, so, and it looked interesting. I've never got into anime in any great way, but I now have Cowboy Bebop, which I think it's based on a manga. But again, no idea what that's about. But it's all about just trying new things and seeing what sticks. It's time for me to dive down again to get a few more things. Ugh. So, oh, I've got another UMD here. Mighty Boosh. As I've mentioned many times, I'm a big fan of BBC comedies. This is one I've never watched before, but it's been recommended to me many times. I'm not a great fan of what I've seen Noel Fielding in terms of like panel shows and stuff like that. So I'm hoping he's not too Noel Fielding-y, because otherwise I might not enjoy that. Then we've got another Xbox game that I've just found, and that would be Unreal Championship 2, which I'm guessing that's something based around Unreal Tournament. Loads of combat stuff going on, and bring a knife to a gunfight. So, as ever, I'm just building up the backlogs, because I don't play enough games at the moment. I've been playing a lot of Balatro still. A lot of Balatro. But anyway, I've picked up Prince of Persia for the Master System, which Prince of Persia was one of the first games I ever played. That would have been on my uncle's Atari. Monkey Island and Prince of Persia. I don't think I ever got further than about the 3rd screen. So, and I know that it should be able to be quite comfortably completed within about an hour. So, yeah, I just need to actually learn how to play it properly. I did try playing the more modern one, the more modern 2D platformer one that Ubisoft came up with last year or the year before, and I just couldn't get on with it at all. I did not like the combat in any way whatsoever. And then this other one I've got, again, one of my early memories is playing Speedball 2 on my uncle's Atari, and so I've got Speedball 1 because it was there and I wanted it. So the Master System collection, just trickling up. Not. I'm not going crazy with it. It's just a gentle drip feed. From the same seller as, I think it was that one actually. I also picked up a cartridge-only MegaDrive game, purely because getting any MegaDrive game for £1, even if it's cartridge-only, isn't that bad. I do have this already in the collection, so I'll have to work out what I want to do with this. But I've got Mutant League Football cartridge-only here. I think that's based on NFL, so somewhat unsurprisingly, I've not played it yet. And then I like big boxes. I think I showed you the big box Monkey Island I got the other day. These ones aren't as exciting as that, but when they're asking for £4 each and then give you the lot for 10 quid, it's not that bad, surely. So I now have Actua Golf 2 in a big box, which, yeah, it's a golf game. I do enjoy a golf game every now and then, and it's a good job because I've also managed to get PGA Tour 486. Now, I'm not into golf at all. Is 486 some kind of golf reference, or is it surely it's not that there are 486 PGA Tour games like this. But let's see, do I recognise any of the player names on the back? No, I don't. So I don't know if I've actually got anything to play any of these on at the moment. I do keep considering buying myself an older PC just so I can play some of these older games, because this one does look very interesting. And that is Titanic Adventure Out of Time. And I think the idea of it is that you are on the Titanic and you've got to explore and change things to try and stop the Titanic from sinking. So it's an interesting premise, but it's got an amazingly detailed 3D reconstruction of the doomed ocean liner. And like, can you see there? That's almost as good as the detail in the movie. So that's not bad at all. And now, this is the main one that caught my eye. With has it got that disc in there? Oh, right. Well, I've just realised that this one doesn't actually have the game in it. It's only got the bonus disc with it. So I've spent far too much time in my life playing Championship Manager and Football Manager, and I thought it'd be nice to have a big box Championship Manager, but the game isn't in the box. I'm awful at not checking boxes and checking games when I go to car boot sales. I think I did a short recently of just how scratched up a game I picked up in a bundle was. And it's just, yeah, I'm crap. I'm absolutely crap at it. But I liked when Championship Manager was simple like that, and like that, rather than all of the micromanaging every single aspect of every single training session, and it's too much for me to actually get involved in now. But now we've come to the highlight, in my eyes anyway. I said that I was close to 200 for the MegaDrive, and I thought, should I go for one of the movies that I'm after? Should I go for a big hitter? And I was umming and ahhing over what to do, and then I popped into CEX 3 days ago and saw this in there and thought, do you know what, this is it, this is number 200, because I love Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles or Ninja Turtles, whichever way you want to do it. And so I got Tournament Fighters, which is a Turtles inspired beat 'em up, not beat 'em up, just general fighting game. But yeah, I'm very pleased to have that in the collection. And now we start on the next milestone. Sorry, the next milestone in terms of the collection. So going forwards, I've got work this week, then start next week I'm going to the theatre. Then I've also got Timeless coming up in Liverpool, and then obviously I've got my run and my holiday. So I've got quite a few things planned in to do, but until then, and until I've got more stuff to show you, thanks for watching and goodbye.